This video is going to be an uncomfortable watch for anyone that chooses to watch it. It's an imperative watch if you want to truly understand cults. Like, I don't have a better example of how destructive they are, how all-encompassing they are, and how they can get to anyone. Anyone. And the reason that this video is so important is because when I teach about cults, so many times in the comments, like, they're just stupid, they don't self-reflect, they're just selfish, they're just dumb. And those are the kind of comments I get. But the thing is, when you say that, you underestimate the power of cults and how they can ensnare people, and they grab hold of their brains like a virus, and it can happen to anyone, including you. And part of what keeps the left learning about the right is the brain goes into this thing when it looks at what they're doing on the right and goes, that's just because they're immoral, they're losers, they're bad people, they're stupid. But in reality, when we are in cults, which America is a cult, when we do things that are not necessarily moral or good or ethical, we always have a reason for that. Well, that was because it was these set of circumstances, but I'm actually a good person. They, on the other hand, are not. And it keeps you from learning and understanding about cults. And if there's ever a time to understand how cults work, it's right fucking now. And all this darkness you're feeling is the cult coming to light. It is being exposed. But when you dumb the people down that are in the cult, you are underestimating what you are dealing with. And people that underestimate their enemies often lose battles and wars. And this is nothing to be underestimated, not to mention you can end up in one if you don't truly understand what they are. And when I say that the cult hands people a set of beliefs in trade for their own survival skills, for their own bodies, you will see exactly what I'm saying. They will lock into those beliefs and protect those beliefs from the outside world, outside of the cult, in lieu of their own survival and the survival of their children. And it isn't because they're bad people. It's that they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea that their agency has been removed. That's like telling a fish to see water. They can't see it, and that is why they fight with us. And when we fight with them, they're already pre-trained that we're trying to destroy their way of life, and so it reinforces everything that the cult leader has told them. And that is why the United States is a cult. That is why it is imperative we break down and deconstruct patriarchy, white supremacy. It's just our way of life. And so when it gets pointed out, it seems like it's not real, or it seems like you're just trying to say men are bad. Like, if people said something to me about patriarchy, I wouldn't have understood it, because in the Mormon cult, it's a patriarchal order, which means men are there to love and lead and protect. So when you say patriarchy, it sounds like a feminist thing, that it's because women hate men and they want to take over. And it doesn't seem like something's real, kind of like when the left talks about racism, people inside the churches say that that's not real. It just sounds like a made-up thing. It's like when the ICE agents, when there's videos of them and they have an accent, or it's a woman, like, I feel like I've been stabbed in the back. That's that pick-me culture. And you could say a pick-me is anybody that supports white men. And they're everywhere. They're everywhere. I have neighbors that I've tried to go out and talk and see kind of where everybody's at, because it's a very multicultural apartment complex I'm in. And I have a hard time because lots of people, I think, oh, of course they would vote this way or be this way. They're not. They're not. And generationally, religiously, culturally, whatever, they're going to support the patriarchy. And anyone that doesn't, they see as a threat to their way of life. And do you see what I mean? When they will trade, they will give you a set of beliefs, and then they will take your survival instincts. I don't need to vote. That is giving up your survival instinct. Your survival instinct should tell you, I need to vote to protect myself and my children, and at the bare minimum, my daughters. But patriarchy has you believe, sure, men have flaws, but deep down, they're all good. They're all warriors, and they do the best they can for everybody. And poor men, we're just here to support them, because really, they're so much stronger and better. They just are. And I was raised as a pick-me. I was sexualized from the time I was young. No one said that was bad or wrong. It scared me, but I also felt like I guess it's my job to make men happy. I mean, I stood up to men, but like when I was sexualized, stuff like that, I just stood there and took it because I didn't know what else to do. But part of what that does is it has women not trust each other, and that we're supposed to be constantly competing for men. And that because our value is much less, and so you need to get a man. So you allow, and even you may learn to flirt or do certain things to get their attention, even though you don't want it. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's no agency to this. It's just the way you're programmed. And you do it, but it makes you not trust any woman. And that's why we don't talk about it much, but I would say there's as much or more damage to women done from other women, like PickMe. I feel like people don't want to talk about it. It's like, no, we don't want to talk about women, but like, this is a cult. We got to talk about everything. And when I think about pain in my life, most of that came from women, adult women, women my age, girls my age, from a young age all the way up, that just were jealous, that were hurtful. I got a letter with ketchup with a knife on it on my doorstep when I was a teenager because I was getting attention from other guys. Like, and at the same time, I was letting guys abuse me because it's just that freeze or fawn response. And you're just like, I guess I'm supposed to because we can't hurt their feelings. Survival skills gone. Never would I have said like, yeah, I shouldn't have a right to vote. That wouldn't have occurred to me, but that's not necessarily what my religion would have taught me. If my religion would have taught me that, maybe I would have bought into that. Most women I know that are on the right wouldn't agree with that, but maybe if they were hearing that from the pulpit, they would. But my point from my video is we would automatically assume the black women or minority women can see it all and they could never get caught up in it. They're too smart for that. They've got the history to understand this, and it's just simply not true. It can happen to anybody. And not for a second do I look at those women and go, they're just bad, they're selfish, they're greedy, they're bad people. I don't think that. I think they are caught in the cult of patriarchy, white supremacy, and I've said a million times, the linchpin in this whole cult is women, because they have the power to stop it, but they can't if they can't deconstruct patriarchy, because they are able to have power behind the man. But if they don't have a man, they feel like they don't have worth and they don't have power. And they want that power to hand to their sons as well. This is all subconscious, by the way. This isn't people sitting there with this evil plot. It's subconscious, and most, if not all, have learned it from the time they are young. Women of every color are in service of their master. That is patriarchy. And as we know, masters abuse the servant. We've seen it every generation from the beginning of time. And then you get Stockholm Syndrome, where you start defending the abuser. Just like men don't stand up to men here, and the men now have Stockholm Syndrome too. So there's a lot of deconstructing to do. But when we act like it's just dumb people, selfish people, you're missing the whole freaking point. You're missing it. And it doesn't help anything to just lash out and say that and chalk it up to stupidity or selfishness. You don't give the credit to the cult and how savvy and clever they are. The Epstein class, how fucking clever and rich and powerful they are, and how insidious this is, and how much work there is to do. This is years and generations of work ahead. And the darkness that you're seeing is good, because now what was laying dormant, and it was just, you're just breathing the air, and all of a sudden you're like choking on the air. Now you know there's something wrong with the air, and the air can no longer go, oh no, I'm fine, keep breathing it. We're like, it's choking me. What are all the different ways that we can work together to clean the air and help people understand that that air is poisoning them? That is the work, period. Every single day. It's not, they're just stupid. It's a cult. That's why it's so hard, because you get anybody that's a minority of any group over on the right, it keeps them locked in because they think, well, they're the ones that are being honest. They're the rebels. They're the truth tellers. And it's this vicious cycle. And if they just pray hard enough, all that self-loathing that they have for being black or Mexican or gay or whatever, or a woman, that will help soothe that pain, and God will make that right with you. while we are cruel to you in subtle ways every single day by not giving you the power and the acknowledgement you deserve. Women protect the children. Women will always protect the children. We're the ones that look out for except when we're a PickMe. Except when the cult has taken away our survival instincts. Except when the cult says, if you step out of line and call out the patriarchy, we're going to remove you from power. Their parents looked away. Their parents looked away. Their parents looked away. Abuse, you just look away from it. I wasn't someone that did that. So that's why I was fighting with adults and the leadership constantly. I mean, from birth. So I lasted 30 years, 27 years in the cult because the leadership made no sense to me. But most people put their head down. They don't want to cause trouble. They don't want to rock the boat. I am a boat rocker, for better or for worse, and it's made life not so fun. But it's also made me a leader, and it's made me shut down really bad things and stop crimes happening because I cannot stand it. And I will do the things you have to do to stop it no matter what. The reason that senator was like, well, I just didn't think it was that big of a deal. I didn't pay that much attention to it. Yeah, because she thought they were young adult women or teenage girls. And to a PickMe and women that are raised that way, teenage girls are seductive. They're sexual. They are the ones trying to get the men. Like, all the shame and blame is put on them. Had I been hearing this and I was still in the Mormon cult, I probably would have been the same. Like, those girls knew what they were doing. We know how girls are. It's fucked. It's evil, it's dangerous, it's harmful, and that is what we are dealing with. And most people I know in these cults are highly educated people. They are doctors, they're lawyers, there's some scientists in there, nurses, like it can get to anyone. These people inside the cult do not know they are in a cult, they can't see it. They are trained that people outside of that matriarchal feminism, equal rights and stuff means they want to take away your way of life. They want to destroy everything you believe, your purity, your wholeness. The people on the outside are just demonic, evil people that want to take that away from you. They don't really give you a reason other than maybe like Satan is part of it. I don't know. They just are raised in patriarchal families with authoritarian rule, and this is what they know. This is why they're getting so triggered by these kids and these young women going on protests during school. Like, I can't tell you how many videos I've seen of people on the right going, these children need to be back in school. Why aren't they in school? Why isn't there order? They want someone punching down, demanding order, because that's what makes them feel safe, even if it harms them. Abuse is just love. Abuse is love in cults. And I guarantee you that senator is a PickMe. And I guarantee you her thought went to, well, those tramps asked for it. They were out there. Well, how were they dressed? What were they doing? Like, why were they around someone like that? Sounds to me like they were asking for it. Oh my gosh. Like, if someone gets attacked at BYU, I go to the comment section and I know it's going to be the women. They're going to be the worst. And they are. Because they don't ever want to promote that women are good and should have equality, because they want the men to like them. And if they shit on other women and blame other women, that makes the men more comfortable around them and it makes them look better to those men. So in cults, it's just not possible for women to trust each other. Like, I've had to learn to trust women, and that's helped me a lot on this app. Because I couldn't trust my mom, I couldn't trust my aunts, I couldn't trust my cousins, I couldn't trust my friends, I couldn't trust my sisters. I couldn't trust anybody. There is no safety among women in cults. And I tell you what, PickMes are the most dangerous of all, because they are afraid to lose their power and their survival. So they will do what they have to do to stay close to a man and keep those men in power. And the way women think, we are so smart, so strategic. But when we're pissed at somebody, that can go on for a long time, and women can really do emotional damage. Like, I always say, like, if I'm gonna have a man or a woman hurt me, I prefer a man do it, because he's gonna punch me square in the face and then that's done, right? It's like a in real time harm. But if a woman's coming for me, I can't sleep. I don't know where it's coming from, and it could go on forever, because that's their way of surviving, is destroying other women. So, I know, heavy and dark. But again, what you're feeling is it's all being exposed, and it can't go back into hiding again. We don't even have a choice. If we don't do this now, the whole world is going, oh, we see you, patriarchy. We see you, the Epstein class. And we've got to just keep deconstructing. But to play off the cult like it's just a bunch of dum-dums and selfish morons that are losers and don't have morals, it's just not it. It's not it. You have to understand the game if you're going to play this and if you're going to win.